Engaging your audience.
The power of authentic video content for small business.
Let's get into it.
Video Mavericks, the small business video marketing podcast. Presented by Workshop Media. With your hosts, Brett and Jeff, sharing a combined 40 years of video production and marketing experience. Take it away.
Today is all about the importance of authentic video content.
That's right. Authenticity is crucial in brand storytelling. You gotta be vulnerable. You gotta share your stories. If it's all about making the connection with the audience, you can't do that without being truthful, without being honest about your story, your origin, your mission, your product offering. Just be honest and don't share everything if you don't want, but authenticity is key.
If you're not authentic, the audience is going to suss it out in a hurry, and it's going to be hard to come back from it.
That's right. You immediately are betraying their trust before even getting started, right?
Can you imagine aligning with a brand based on who they say they are, and then you realize somewhere down the line that that wasn't the case? That is a betrayal, and it'd be a really hard thing to get over that if you make that mistake early on. So
we went over this a little bit in episode 2, but you already live and breathe your story, your origin, what you're doing, why you're doing it. Sometimes when you're too deep in it, it's hard to kind of figure out what it all is. I feel it. I feel why we're doing this. I kind of know it internally, but once you start going, I got to build this story now. I got to shape this narrative about our business. How do I do that?
I think if you do the work that we described in episode 2 and realizing and putting your brand story to work, then the authenticity will be automatic. Yep. Because the brand story, if it is authentic, if it is true, if you are honest in the exercise of sorting out all of those things, then your authenticity is going to be a given.
Yep.
And if you're not honest and authentic with yourself in your brand story, then it's going to be hard to kind of figure out, okay, well, we said that thing over here, or maybe we didn't say that. Okay, should I put that in this piece of content? Or does the viewer know that? If you are, completely genuine from the very beginning when you're sorting those things out internally, then the authenticity should be a lot easier.
So what are the 3 key characteristics of authentic content for small businesses?
Transparency.
Okay.
Relatability.
I like that.
And human connection.
The best one of them all. That's my favorite. I'm not going to skip ahead. So let's get into number 1. Being transparent.
Transparency.
Being vulnerable.
Sharing. That's it. Sharing the goods
and the bads.
Yep. And when you do that, it's going to make your potential customer, your audience, see you as a trustworthy source.
Yep. That's it. If our whole goal with marketing is to get your audience to know you, like you, and trust you, storytelling is the best way to do it. Being authentic in that storytelling is like the golden ticket, right? If we're so used to telling stories and seeing stories, reading stories, watching stories, then you should be doing that same thing. So like we talked about in episode 2, don't fib, right?
Yeah.
Don't make up stories. Don't present yourself in a way that is not true to your brand. Be authentic, be transparent.
And if you're being transparent, then it is going to be a lot easier to keep your story straight. I mean,
yes, that's right. That's right. And people, man, like you said, they're gonna sniff you out, and they'll know. Gosh. And if you present yourself in a way that is not true, and get caught,
that's damaged.
Yeah, you're now operating in a betrayal space, and that's going to be hard to come back from. You're going to have to spend a lot more money in your video marketing and other areas to try to fix your mistake. So why do all of that? Just be authentic. Be transparent in your storytelling.
Yeah. So number 2, we've got relatability. What's relatability?
I think that piggybacks on transparency, right? So if you're talking about your wins, your challenges, your desires, those are things that you can relate to your audience. You can relate to your customer. I was there once. Our business was there once.
Yeah.
We're not approachable, right? We're
not speaking to you from up here. We're people too.
We're just like you.
We have struggles just like you. The problems that we're solving with our offering are problems that we could benefit from.
And we face them. It just so happens that we're a few steps ahead and have provided a solution that we want you to benefit from, assuming that's the business. And, but that is a way to make a great connection. And then you can use that and engage, on the platforms where the content lives or whatever, and continue that relatability there.
It feels really good when you're in a conversation with someone that relates to you. It's really hard to reach someone who does not have any shared experiences. Mm-hmm. You take a lot of, and if you take that and you put that into your video marketing for a small business, if you connect with the person, relate with them, mm-hmm. then you're already starting along your path, and you're closer to your goal than you would have been if you had to start from not relating to your mm-hmm. customer at all. So It's kind of a cheat code.
All right. Number 3, human connection.
Human connection. So this is, it's kind of literally what it sounds like, and that is humanizing the brand by showing that there are people that work for the brand, that mm-hmm. run the brand.
There are people that make up this business. People just like you that,
So in terms of video marketing, that could come across in showing employees, showing that there are people who are, maybe in the same town as your customer base that are doing the work. That those are, there are human stories behind every single facet of the business.
Yep. And there could be human stories that are connected to those relatable elements in your transparency. All of this is just getting to the point of being authentic in your storytelling,
Absolutely. And human connection can also be appealing to an emotional side of what you offer as a business. So the viewer might be, and I say viewer because we're talking about video, the viewer might be moved by seeing that you are moving someone to tears, happy tears. And so that human connection is pulling that out and going, hey, this is an emotion that both people can share in this case. The business shares it with the customer. So there's a human connection in relating to them.
Mm-hmm. And the relatability and the human connection kind of go hand in hand.
They do.
Think about like Coca-Cola or any of these larger brands. They're not going, we've got more bubbles than the competition.
That's it.
This is a lot sweeter than the others. They're saying we're out on the baseball field and we're having a great time at the birthday party, and the refreshing thing to do right now is to have a nice cold Coke under the sun together with the family. Whatever. They're creating a human element to make the brand not so big and scary. Mm-hmm. And that's huge. With small business, you may not have that larger presence like a large brand does, but you can take those elements that a big brand that uses, in making those connections and just make it about yours. But,
I mean, it could be as simple as, hey, I have a family too.
Yeah, right.
And then your viewer, if your potential customer is a family, then they go, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And
they know who I am. And so their struggles are my struggles. Obviously, they're going to have my best interest at heart.
And our values align, right? Oh, they're family people. They're values, they're value driven. They'd immediately start. That goes back to crafting the brand story, knowing your audience and all of that. So why don't we go into the next thing, which are some tips that could be helpful in being authentic.
So this one, I need to qualify it a little bit, but it is don't over script. That doesn't mean don't script your content. That doesn't mean don't think about your content.
You don't have to write a novella.
That's it.
Talking points sometimes help.
That's right.
I mean, we have talking points for this show that you're watching right now.
And if you're gonna script something, which you should script things, script them for the person that's gonna be delivering the message, or for the medium that the message is gonna live on. So
what do you mean?
So if I write words for you and you read those words, they may not come out the way that they would if I said them. Yeah. So if I'm over scripting for you, just like if a small business has someone who is doing their writing for them, and then they're going to give that to leadership to read on camera. Yeah. Leadership should probably read that before they're on camera.
Yeah, I mean, how often do we see that, or have we seen that where it's
I would never say that.
I'd never say that. I don't use the word superfluous.
Yeah, a fun word. Do it again.
Superfluous. That's not a word I would use. So that's important. And if you had a writer, or if you are writing, brand voice is extremely important.
Yep.
Because you want to represent your brand the way that you feel it should be seen. So when you are scripting, don't over script. Keep it simple. Be authentic. And write it in the brand voice, write it in your voice if you represent the brand.
And if you goof up, that takes us to number 2, and that's embrace the imperfections.
Yes,
so,
that's transparency and relatability.
Yeah, so that doesn't mean that your polished brand film shouldn't be polished.
Right.
It means that at some point along the way in your video marketing, it's okay to show the human side of who you are, who your business is. You know, if you have a little flub and you laugh about it, that's okay.
Right.
You know,
and sometimes you leave that in, right? And you go,
Yeah.
oh, they said something kind of fun, and then you laughed before you cut out to another shot or something like that, and it loosens up the story a little bit, or lets your audience know that it's not so serious, or we're fun-loving people. I mean, there's a lot of ways to approach it, but embrace the imperfections, embrace being human.
Yeah, and then that takes us to number 3, which is use everyday settings. So if you have a space that you're working out of, and that's the story that you need to tell your audience, tell them the story in that space. You don't need to go, if you're running a small shop, you don't need to go and rent out a huge corporate building to try to put on.
Yeah, right.
That's not authentic. Use your space, use your settings, and put yourself out there in a way that's going to be authentic to who your business is, because it's going to be pretty obvious if your customer watches a piece of content, you're in a 100-story high-rise, and then they show up and you're in an end unit.
Right.
And it's nothing wrong with either one of those things, but
why would you do it if it wasn't authentic to you?
Why would you do it?
Yeah.
Why? That's pulling wool. And
now you can, let's say, oh, I really work in our space. We really, our space is very used. It's a worked in shop or whatever. You can tidy it up a bit. You can clean it. You can look at how you're filming your space and make some adjustments. It actually might be like a much needed thing that you've kind of put off, right? Hey, we're going to be filming.
Clean your desk.
We're going to put cleaning on the to-dos before we start filming, and now you've got your shop cleaned, right? So it's absolutely imperative that you are authentic and that you use your space. So when, let's say it's a retail shop or something like that, when you have customers coming in, the whole purpose is that they've gotten to know you without actually meeting you. So when they get there, I remember this space. I've seen it. I feel like I've been here before, you know?
Lastly, share your why, your personal why. So when we were talking about this in episode 2, that goes very nicely into brand story. But sharing your personal why and your motivation for what you're offering or why you're in this leadership role is very relatable. And it is absolutely authentic if you are open and honest about your why.
Yep. Love that.
Yeah.
Number 5 on our list of things that we didn't number, types of authentic content. Customer testimonials.
Yeah, so
that's a type of authentic content. And why is that, Brett?
Yeah, so customer testimonial is authentic because it is a genuine reaction to what you offer and how people are perceiving your business or how they have interacted with your business. So there's nothing more authentic than having someone that you don't pay, who actually paid to hang out with you, so to speak. Yeah. They paid to work with you, and yet they take the time to go and talk about how great that was. That's really special.
And it's kind of full circle, right? So if you do your job right as a business owner, with your product offering, your service, whatever it is that you're selling, you do a good job, you provide a good customer service, they are fulfilled, problem solved, they want to say great things about you, and it kind of comes back around again, right? It doesn't stop. So video is a way to sort of serve up that connection and engagement on a silver platter, right?
That's right.
It's then your job to kind of finish the race, and then it's going to start all over again with the same person potentially, or all the people that they've impacted because of how well you've done, you know?
Yeah.
That's a really that's cool. Customer testimonials they're just,
I think if I had to
such a win.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick one for authenticity, it's hard to beat a testimonial.
Right. Unpaid actor.
It's something
I'm willing to stake I'm putting my name and title on it. That's just,
yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yep.
Cool.
So another type of authentic content that seems to resonate really well is behind the scenes stuff. So
This is transparency.
those things
right?
that you don't think anyone would ever want to see. It's like, nobody needs to see how we do this.
There's something really nice too about if you had a shop and you walked in the back and you were filming and just went, you got stacks of boxes over there. You got things like, no business is super clean in every room. There's going to be front of house, back of house, right?
Yeah.
But if you were to take that inside look, come on back.
Yeah.
So this is where we fulfill all the orders. We got John Smith and Jane Doe are back here working, and they're hey guys, and what are we working on? We're getting 50 orders out today by lunch. That's so cool because you're letting people in. You're being transparent. You showed off your staff. You're letting people see behind the curtain,
and you can do behind the scenes footage in a polished way. So if you're working with a video marketing agency and they're coming in, with a production crew, that behind the scenes footage can have a polish to it, but it's still behind the scenes. A great example would be a manufacturing facility that makes furniture, right? So there's one side of it that is showing off the furniture, which is what the customer's actually buying. There's another side of it that's how that stuff is made, and there's an authentic story in that. And so showing those things off is also just kind of cool.
Yeah.
It keeps the customer engaged, and it's going to show them that you're passionate about something.
And I feel as a viewer like I know you a little more.
Yeah.
I'm starting to like you a little more. And
Yeah.
if you're willing to show me back there and show me how this is done, then I'm kind of starting to trust you a little more.
Huh.
What do you know? All right. Lastly, types of content. These aren't the only types, but these are examples.
Yeah, some things you could consider. This
live
one's
video.
This one, this one gives me the willies.
Because live means, can I
Live, you can't undo it.
Can I take that back?
But seriously, live video. It's there's no greater transparency than live content where anything could happen.
Yeah. As long as you have some boundaries that you set.
Yeah. You
Right.
can control it.
If you know your story, you feel really comfortable in all of the things we've talked about up to this point. You set some boundaries for yourself. You know when the mics are hot. And you can really utilize that. And you can do Q&As.
The customer engagement for a live content is, I think, the thing that it's hard to overstate how powerful that is. And the platforms where live content is really excelling right now, something like YouTube or Instagram, when that little tag pops up that says that someone's live, the algorithm's going to push that right on up. And so you're that much more likely to be seen.
There's no question that if their whole goal is to keep people on the platform, it's live means it's happening right now.
What happens
Everybody
next?
get here now. It's happening on this platform, right?
Yeah.
We did a lot. We switched to live as a pivot during the pandemic, and it was a really smart pivot. We didn't do live before.
Yeah.
And
it became imperative when in-person appearances went away to be able to do live talk shows, for example.
Yeah, let's keep it in person in a way, right?
Yeah. And if live were not important, then it would not have been around since the dawn of television.
Got him.
There's a reason why we all, used to now I'm showing age, but gather around the TV at a certain time to watch a show because it's live. Now at the time it's because we couldn't DVR stuff, but DVR, that still dates me.
Yeah, I'm like just letting you walk right on into this. You did have more than like 3 channels,
DVR,
though, right?
Yeah, you just adjust the tinfoil and
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But seriously, live has been around for a long time, and there's a comfort in this is happening right now. So live video is something you should consider, but to your point, Jeff, be strategic with it.
Yep.
That's one that's worth rehearsing. At least what you plan to do.
Yeah.
So
create a little run of show too. I think that'll help
Yeah.
you stay on track, and it'll feel a little bit more comfortable for you. Okay, quick recap. Rapid fire.
that's it.
That's like our thing. We're going to rapid fire recap. So key characteristics of authentic content: transparency, relatability, and human connection. All right, Brett, so give us some quick rapid fire tips on how to be authentic on camera.
Don't overscript it.
Okay.
Embrace the imperfections. Use your everyday settings and locations, and share your personal why.
And types of authentic content we covered: customer testimonials,
Behind the scenes footage.
and live video.
Live video.
There are others, but these are some some pretty easy ones to get into.
And for everybody watching and listening, when we talk about stuff like this, pay attention to it. When you're consuming content on your own or watching other people in your industry or outside of your industry, you'll start to see these things. Now that you know about it, it's going to be, we're kind of piercing the veil and pulling back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a little bit. We long ago ruined watching movies with our wives and friends. There, you see right there. You see how that happened?
There's a light. The light's on the wrong side.
Rewind it.
Yeah. So that is to say, once you know about some of this stuff and you can pay attention to it, notice it. See how people are using it, and it'll help you to start to think about your own business that way and how you can apply these things to your own marketing.
Yeah, and one other thing to add in the recap would be some bonus tips on overcoming challenges in being authentic on camera.
Yeah, so one of those is just to practice speaking. So take out your cell phone, and without the pressure of creating the final product, just practice speaking on camera. Watch it back. It'll help to get, sort of ease the nerves, and the reps will make it easier for you. Guaranteed.
Whoa, that was cool. And you might have 15, 20, 50 clips on your phone, but you can watch them back and you can review them with your spouse or your friend or your business partner and go, wow, like I'm actually starting to see it a little bit. I'm unveiling it just a little bit. I knew the brand story, but I never saw it as a video the way I consume other video from other businesses.
And that applies. It's going
to be helpful.
That applies too if you're prepping for production with a marketing agency. So if you got a video production or a video marketing agency partner that's going to be filming some content with you, you can still practice on camera before you sit down with all of the lights and the cameras and the pressure of production day. So
highly recommend that.
Remember to be authentic. You don't have to be perfect.
That's it. Be transparent, be relatable, and make that human connection with your audience.
All right. And that does it for this one. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss future episodes. We're going to keep bringing you these insights for small business video marketing week after week. Take care.